Bitcoin just shattered $73,600. And if you're watching this, you're about to see exactly where it goes next. We're talking key price levels, support zones, and the data points that tell us if we're heading to $80,000 or pulling back to $70,000. Stay with me, because the next 30 seconds will save you thousands of dollars in bad trades. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm your host, and every single day, we break down what's actually happening in crypto and stocks. No hype, no BS, just data and analysis you can act on. Today, we're zooming in on Bitcoin's latest move. This isn't random. This breakout tells us something critical about where institutional money is flowing and what retail investors need to know right now. First, let's get real about what just happened. Bitcoin has been ranging between $68,000 and $72,000 for the past 2 weeks. Classic consolidation. But in the last 48 hours, we saw volume spike 340% above the 30-day average, and price just broke above that $73,000 level we've been watching. Here's what makes this different from the last 3 breakouts. We have positive macro signals. The Fed held rates steady yesterday, tech stocks rallied, and Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 dropped to 0.34, which means Bitcoin is moving independently again. That's bullish. But, and this is critical, we're not in a parabolic rally yet. The RSI is at 62, which is neutral. MACD just crossed, but it's weak. Translation: this breakout is real, but it's not overheated. Okay, let me explain why this level matters, and why you should care even if you're not a day trader. Bitcoin has been rejected at $73,600 twice in the last 60 days. In technical analysis, that's called a double bottom when price holds above support, or a rejection pattern when it fails. We just got our confirmation that this level is breakable. That's the first puzzle piece. The second piece is on-chain data. Glassnode just reported that long-term holder spending accelerated 18% in the last week, meaning whales are accumulating at these levels, not selling. When whales buy, that's usually a sign they expect higher prices. The third piece? Options flow. Stay with me because this next part is critical. Call options on Bitcoin for June 30th expired in the money yesterday. That means traders who bet on higher prices are now profitable, and they're holding. Meanwhile, put options are still cheap, which suggests the market isn't pricing in a crash. So, what does all this mean? It means $73,600 isn't just technical resistance. It's a battle line. Institutions want higher. Retail is nervous but following, and the macro setup supports a move up, not down. Now let's talk about the actual technical picture, because your next move depends on understanding these levels. We're in a weekly uptrend. Highs are getting higher. Lows are getting higher. That's bullish. On the daily chart, we've broken above the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $71,200. That's now our first support zone. Here's the map. On the resistance side, the upside targets, we've got 3 key levels. First target is $75,400. That's the previous all-time resistance we've hit 3 times. Second target is $78,200. That's a psychological round number plus a Fibonacci extension. And third target is $81,500, which would be our alt scenario if we get a real surge. That's 10.8% from here. On the support side, the downside protection, we've got 3 levels working in our favor. First support is $71,200, which is the 200-day moving average. Second support is $70,150, the range low from last week. And critical support is $68,900. If we break this, we're going back into a bearish structure. Here's what I'm watching. Can we hold above $72,000 by Friday? If yes, then $75,000 is almost certain by mid-June. If we drop below $70,800, we're back in chop. The probability? Based on current order book imbalance and funding rates, I'd say 68% chance we hit $75,400 within 14 days. That's not financial advice, just what the data suggests. Okay, real talk. What should you do right now? If you're already holding Bitcoin, don't panic sell. We have support at $71,200. Use that as your stop loss if you need one. If you're thinking about buying, here's my take. Dollar cost averaging is safer than market buying right now. Why? Because we could pull back to $70,000 in the next 48 hours before heading higher. Patience pays. If you're a trader, short-term resistance is at $73,900. If we hold there, it's a chop signal. If we break it, we probably run to $74,500 at minimum. But here's what most people miss. Altcoins are about to get interesting. Bitcoin is up 4.2% this month, but did you know Ethereum is still down 2.1%? That's divergence. When Bitcoin leads and alts lag, it usually means rotation is coming. My watch list for the next move, Ethereum. Watch for a break above $3,320. If Bitcoin hits $75,000 and ETH breaks $3,320, we could see a real alt season spark. Upside to $3,800. Solana, currently at $154. If it breaks $160, next level is $180. That's old resistance. That would be a 17% move. Polygon. This one's been beaten down. If Bitcoin holds $73,000, MATIC could pop 12 to 15% to test $1.15 again. Why am I telling you this? Because Bitcoin doesn't move alone. When Bitcoin establishes a new level, money flows to alts. It's predictable. It's clockwork. Here's my 30-day prediction. Bitcoin likely finds equilibrium between $74,000 and $76,000 over the next week. Then, if macro stays supportive, Fed doesn't surprise, tech doesn't crash, we could realistically see $78,000 to $80,000 by mid-June. But that's the bull case. The bear case. If the market gets a negative surprise, earnings miss, Fed hawkish pivot, geopolitical event, we could see a 15 to 18% pullback to $62,000. That's the range of outcomes I'm watching. The probability weighting, I'd say 65% for higher prices, 25% for consolidation, 10% for a sharp pullback. What should you do? Have a plan. Know your entry. Know your exit. Know your stop loss. The traders making money right now aren't the ones guessing. They're the ones with a written plan. And one more thing. This is critical. Don't let FOMO drive you. Bitcoin will be $73,600 forever in hindsight. What matters is your discipline right now. So here's the takeaway. Bitcoin breaking $73,600 is real. The setup is bullish, but it's not a guarantee. Levels to watch are $75,400 on the upside and $71,200 on the downside. Altcoins are next. Watch Ethereum, Solana, and Polygon for breakouts if Bitcoin holds this level. And more importantly, have a plan. Don't trade with emotion. If this video helped you understand what's happening in the market, smash that like button. It takes half a second, and it helps the algorithm push this to more people who need it. Subscribe if you haven't already. We post daily updates every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Turn on notifications so you're never caught off guard by a market move. And drop a comment. What's your Bitcoin target for June? $75,000, $80,000. Let me know in the comments below. Finally, and I say this every video because it matters, this is not financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. Everything here is educational and based on publicly available data. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always do your own research. Talk to a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. All right, that's the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.